Your endless overthinking before making any big decision in your life is not just about indecisiveness. It actually is fueled by two important psychological drivers. One is fear of failure, and the second is your endless quest of being perfect. Now, these two forces don't work in isolation, they work together hand in hand. And with every passing thought or your overthinking, this paralysis becomes so deeper because it starts getting linked to your identity, making it so difficult to break through out of it. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons as to what actually happens inside your head when you're stuck in decision paralysis, and 3 steps that you can take to break out of this loop. And yes, they are backed by psychology, neuroscience, and by research in this area. So, let's get onto the drawing board. Okay, so let's understand what exactly goes into our head when we are stuck in this loop of overthinking. The first thing that happens is what is called as the prefrontal cortex overload, which is the human brain, the thinking brain, which makes us far more intelligent. What we end up doing is that we tend to open so many options in front of us that our mind starts getting to hang. It's very similar to maybe if you open a lot of screens or tabs onto your laptop or into your phone, what do you think essentially is going to happen? It is going to hang over a period of time, right? It'll buffer more, and eventually it will say, okay, I can't, you need to close some of these windows, right? That's exactly how much our thinking brain, the brain that actually is responsible for making good decisions, can take. And I'm sure we'll agree that we live in this world where we are filled with options and overwhelmed. And that's why this brain tends to rather starts giving up and says, I can't deal with so many options. In fact, there is a study also done which is called as the Iyengar and Lepper's famous jam study, where about 2,000 people were given 24 different flavors of jam from which they could buy. You know what happened? None of them bought anything, versus people who were given just about 6 different types of jams. They ended up buying rather than people who were given more options. So technically, if you look at it, the first thing is this brain, what it starts doing is it's so much of overload. You have to make sure that you don't start giving yourselves option after option after option. That's the first thing, right? So we call as the prefrontal cortex overload. The second thing that happens into your brain is this part, which is the primitive brain, which is what we call as the amygdala. This gets activated. Now, this brain, as you know, is responsible for keeping us safe, keeping us alive and kicking. So, think about it. Say if you're standing at a door and all you see inside is pitch darkness. My question to you is, would you enter inside that door? For most of us, the answer would be no, because it's simple. You don't know what is inside. There could be darkness, there could be animal, there could be anything which eventually is a threat to your life. And which is why this amygdala gets activated and it says it is far too risky, don't go inside that door. It's the same thing when we kind of are stuck in this cycle of overthinking, is because based on the options that we have given, in this case it would be endless, because that's what the first point was. Based on the endless options that we have given to it, even if any option is remotely risky, it is risk to your identity, risk to your future, risk to your well-being. The job of this amygdala is about giving you that alarm that don't go ahead and make that choice, because its job is to just make sure that you are doing well, you are alive. And the point to be noted over here is that it's a perceived threat, right? Everything that goes inside in amygdala is perceived threat. So you have to understand the difference between an actual threat versus a perceived threat. Now, when these two sides of our brain are in continuous tussle, which is what I also like to call as the tug of war. It's the tug of war that keeps on happening between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. What technically happens is it does not release any dopamine. Now, dopamine, as is the hormone that's responsible for our motivation, the responsible that hormone that kicks us into taking action. Between these tug of war, dopamine does not get released. We feel stuck, and like I mentioned, it's a reinforcing loop that gets deep into your identity, and it becomes so very paralyzing. So the question is, what do we do, and how do we break out of this particular situation that we're talking about? Because that's exactly what goes inside our head, right? Okay, so what are the 3 steps that we can take in order to make sure that we are breaking this cycle? So the first thing that you need to do is limit your choices. Exactly. That's the first thing you need to do when you want to break this decision paralysis cycle. It's because if you keep on giving options, the brain is going to get more overloaded. Always try to just narrow the options down to 3 or maximum 5, because what it does then is the brain is able to make better more rational and objective choices, because that's its capacity to handle things. Just drop away those options that don't go with you as a person, don't go with your identity, and don't go with your value systems. So you can go ahead and drop those options down immediately. It will help you limit your choices. Step number 2 is where you go ahead and treat your self with a decision deadline. What this means is that you don't have endless time in this world to sit and ruminate over things and options. You gotta tell yourself, I'm gonna give myself 1 hour, 1 day, or if it's a very big decision, okay, go ahead and take 1 week. And then have that self-accountability to make sure that you are pausing and then not thinking through over it again. You're just making sure you're taking an action. What this then does is that it allows you to kind of be accountable to yourself. And let me be fair, there are a lot of us who may not be someone who feel they are good at personal accountability. Please go ahead and have an accountability partner. I mean, I do this with my husband. If there is something I had given myself a decision time or 2, I make him accountable and he does for me. I become his accountability partner when it comes to making decisions and choices, and we've given ourselves a decision timer. All right. And what is the third thing that we can do? The third thing is very, very important, because we have to treat the amygdala also, right? So make choices, or rather reversible. The point is, the amygdala that we were talking about, the primitive brain, the reason why it finds everything so risky and it does not know what it perceives as a real threat is because it just fears anything which is permanent. So what you need to do is play with it a little bit and maybe just reframe the decisions that you're making for your amygdala in a way where you may want to call it like reversible, so that the small little baby gets little pacified and does not jump over here and there at all points in time. So what is the example? For example, you tell yourself, which career do I choose because that's gonna be forever for me? Instead, you could do a small reversible experiment where you could say, let me try it for 6 months and see how it goes. Another example, shall I walk away from this relationship and I will stay lonely forever? Not really, right? What you could also say is that let me live with myself for some time and see how it goes. What these 3 steps help you do, friends, is it just allows you to break that cycle that we spoke about in our head of mental overload, the primitive brain getting activated, showing you perceived risk, versus a tug of war between the two. Instead, it allows you to get into action, because that's the only cure for the decision paralysis that we get stuck in. All right, so now you have the tools in front of you which you can make sure that you apply when you find yourself stuck in the decision paralysis cycle. Because let's be very clear, indecisiveness or getting stuck into that loop of indecision has a ripple effect on many aspects of your life, whether it is health, your ability to manage your finances, your overall well-being, your relationships. So it's very important that you acknowledge what's going inside your head and take these corrective actions to break that loop, because now you have all the necessary tools. So go out there, apply it, and do tell me how did it go for you, and do drop in your questions in case I can help you with anything. And if you want to go ahead and start making decisions with far more clarity and confidence, and cut away that mental overwhelm and overthinking, definitely follow this channel and let's start showing up together. This is your friend Neha Biotra, who will always remind you you're way stronger than you think.